Chapter 6, Lesson 7, Variation and Problem Solving. We're going to talk about 3 different types of variation today, the first one being direct variation. Now, if y varies directly as x, or it's written y is directly proportional to x, then you know the equation is y equals k times x. And k is our constant of variation. That's like our rate. When we talk about linear equations, it's like our slope. And it's also called the constant of proportionality. So whenever we're given example about direct variation, and it gives you a word problem, the first thing you have to do is find k. Then use k to find the missing variable. So it says, suppose that y varies directly as x. So you know that y equals k times x. If y is 5, when x is 30, step 1, find k. So dividing each side by 30 to get k by itself, I know now that k is 1/6. Now, give me the direct variation equation. So I'm just going to substitute that in. So I have y equals 1/6 x. If y varies inversely, or if y is inversely proportional to x, then my x is divided, or my constant is divided by x. So I start with y equals k divided by x because it says y is inversely as x. If y is 3, when x is 5, find the constant of variation. So times both sides by 5 would give me k equals 15. And write the inverse equation. So y equals 15 divided by x. So we would use direct variation when you're doing word problems where as your x increases, so does your y. So let's say that you go to the grocery store and you are going to buy packages of cookies. Each package of cookies costs $2. So your constant is that each of them costs $2. So as you buy more cookies, your grocery bill goes up. So as X number of cookies increases, Y, your grocery bill, also increases. Now in inverse variation, you have your constant, and as X increases, your Y decreases. So let's say that you and a bunch of your friends are going to rent a car for the day. Now, the car rental, no matter how many people get in the car, is $200. So first, you and only one friend are going to rent it. Your $200 would be divided by 2. But then let's say a third person's going to rent it. Then you take your $200 and divide it by 3. So your price per person is going to decrease as X, your number of people, increases. And the third one we have is joint variation. Now, joint variation is when you can combine your multiplications of 2 things. You can add in a division, but your most common one is y equals k times x times z. So it's adding in a third variable that could happen. So this one says the lateral surface area of a cylinder varies jointly as its radius and its height. Write this surface area S in terms of radius R and height H. So we have S equals K times R times H. And that's all we have to do. We don't have to solve for anything. Suppose Y varies directly as the square of X. So this time we know we're using the direct variation, but we know this time that our X is going to be squared. If Y is 24, when X is 2, find K. So 2 squared is 4, and dividing by 4 on each side gives me K to be 6. Now write your variation equation. So Y equals 6x squared. Suppose Y varies inversely as the cube of X. So this time with my inverse variation, I'm going to do K divided by X, but my X is also going to be cubed. If Y is 1/2, when X is 2, then I know that I would have 1/2 equals 2 cubed is 8 times both sides by 8, and I get k equals 4. So my equation becomes y equals 4 divided by x cubed. The maximum weight that a circular column can support is directly proportional to maximum weight is directly proportional to the 4th power of its diameter, so d to the 4th, and inversely proportional to the square of its height. A 2-meter diameter column that is 8 meters in height can support 2 tons. So my weight is 2 tons, my diameter is 2, and my height is 8. So these will be squared. So that would give me 2 equals k times 2 to the 4th is 32, 8 squared is 64. 2 times 64 is 128. And divide by 32 is k equals 4. W equals 4 times diameter 4th over h squared. Now, find the weight if you have a 1-meter column that is 4 meters high. So we would do W equals 4 times 1 to the 4th over 4 squared equals 4 over 16. Oops. Which is 1/4. Yeah. 1/4 of a ton.